Purple potatoes is a variety called Vitellotti, Vitalot, also known as truffle potatoes, Chinese truffles, or Vitellotti noir. They are distinguished by an unusual color and structure. They come from South America and are not a genetic modification. The French variety Vitalot is a late variety. It has rather small tubers, no more than 10 centimeters in length. 6 to 8 vegetables weighing 60 to 75 grams are formed under the bush. Less often, up to 100 grams planting material is worth buying the best, organic, or specially designed potatoes. This is because nearly all of the potatoes in the grocery store have been treated with tuber inhibitors and, as can be predicted, you will not get a large yield. Those from the market will probably grow too, but they can transmit diseases and infect other crops. Purple potatoes are grown in the same way as regular yellow potatoes. The best soil for them is permeable soil rich in organic material. If you have heavy soil, change it before planting with a layer of compost about 5 centimeters thick, dug in the top of the soil, 15 centimeters thick. They need moist soil, from planting to flowering. The most unsuitable soil for purple potatoes is clay, while the most advantageous is light, fertile and well dug. This vegetable does not tolerate drought well, but stagnant water should also be excluded. Before planting, the soil should be dug twice, in autumn, before the first frost, and in spring, just before planting. If the soil is too hard, sand is added. The soil pH should be between 5.0 and 6.0. They can be grown like traditional potatoes, in containers, in bags, but they come out best when planted straight into the ground and entrenched, buried in oblong mounds. You can bury the tuber in the ground to a depth of 10 centimeters or in a mound 15 centimeters high. Potato plants need approximately 30 centimeters of soil depth to develop good roots and tubers. To disinfect the soil, wood ash is sprinkled into the holes and on the mounds. The distance between the tubers should be 30 centimeters, and the row spacing is 60 centimeters. We can also plant them to a certain depth and then cover them with soil. The method is as follows: the minimum distance between the seed potatoes is 20 centimeters and the maximum distance is 45 centimeters. The depth is from 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters, then we cover them with about 10 centimeters with a layer of earth. The row spacing is ditches at a distance of 60 centimeters to 100 centimeters. When the potato sprouts break through the ground, let them reach about 15 centimeters in height and add about 10 centimeters of soil to the ditch. Repeat until the trench is filled. Remember that those tubers that stick out and are in the sun will turn green, regardless of whether they are regular or purple potatoes. Anyone that turns green is unfit for consumption because they are poisonous, as well as potato sprouts. They contain toxic solanine. You can plant the first potatoes after March 15th, if the risk of frost has passed. You can plant them until May, it depends on the variety. But the sooner the better because they will be less prone to disease and the attack of the Colorado beetle. A vegetable is planted in spring, when the soil warms up to +5 degrees Celsius, as the plant does not tolerate late spring frosts. It should then be covered with agrotextile. The best time to plant is after the last danger of frost has passed, as growths grow fastest when spring temperatures are cool and the day is lengthening. Late frosts can kill new sprouts, but regrowth usually occurs. If you want to grow potatoes in containers, choose the early and middle varieties as these do best in containers. Purple potatoes grow slower than regular yellow potatoes, so the sooner you plant them, the better. We collect the potatoes when the bushes start to dry up, i.e. about 4 months after planting. There is also the Provita variety which matures after 80 days. Usually, it takes 60-90 days from the appearance of the first shoots to their full maturation. These values vary depending on the variety. Before planting, the potatoes can be kept in a dark, damp place to germinate them, but this is not necessary. Ungerminated tubers planted in the ground will also sprout. This is done to get a faster yield. The tubers are sprouted a month and a half before planting. The ideal temperature for the germination of tubers is +10 degrees Celsius. To speed up the emergence of sprouts, the tubers are sprinkled with water from time to time. When the sprouts reach 2 centimeters, the potatoes are exposed to light so that the sprouts do not stretch out too much. You can put them in an egg carton or paper bag for a few days, and that should work too. If you have few potatoes to plant, you can divide them in half or even 4, preferably along the length of the potato, and you will get many more bushes. If the seed potatoes are the size of a hen's egg, plant them whole. If they are larger, cut them into pieces with a clean, sharp knife dipped in the spirit before starting and in between each cut potato. Each slice should have 1 to 3 eyes. To prevent diseases, the cut pieces should be placed in a cool, dry place, until the cut surface is hard and dry, e.g. overnight. Plant the cut parts downwards so that the eyes from which the shoots grow are directed upwards. 4 weeks should pass from the moment of planting to the appearance of small seedlings. 6 hours of sunshine a day is enough for potatoes to grow properly, but more sunlight will be even more welcome. So choose a place that will be well sunlit. You can also plant potatoes along with other vegetables. They are great companions along with beans, cabbage, and corn. It is better not to plant them next to sunflowers, tomatoes, and raspberries, they will grow badly then. Plants need to be systematically fertilized, watered, and weeds removed. Plant care is based on constant monitoring of soil moisture. If there has been no rainfall for 10 to 15 days, watering is necessary. This is especially important during the bud formation period and after flowering. However, they cannot remain in stagnant water because they will rot. When an earthen crust forms, carefully loosen it with a rake or a spatula so that the soil does not suffocate the plant. They need a certain amount of water to support growth, usually 2 square meters of water per week. Drip irrigation saves water and reduces diseases caused by excessively moist soil conditions. Purple potato varieties require fertilizing during the bud period and after flowering. We use organic and potash fertilizers for the potato. Before planting, it is advisable to add humus at the rate of 0.5 kilograms per 1 square meter. In industrial agriculture, tubers are treated with a fungicide and soaked in potassium permanganate before planting, which protects the plants from late blight and some pests. Use an organic fertilizer, such as fish emulsion, monthly at the rate of 1 tablespoon of fertilizer for every 4 liters of water. The soil around the plants should be watered thoroughly with fertilizer. You can also use bone meal. Avoid using manure as fertilizer as it can cause scab. Unfortunately, the purple variety keeps poorly. Different types of purple potatoes have different ripening rates, so check whether the variety you're growing is early, medium, or late to predict when to harvest. After the potatoes have bloomed, the bush begins to turn yellow. Stop watering and wait for it to die. Remove the bushes and carefully dig the potatoes with a garden shovel or pitchfork, being careful not to damage them. Dig up the potatoes when the soil is dry, in sunny weather, and place them under a canopy so that the sand on the potatoes is dry. The harvest is stored at a temperature of +2 degrees Celsius, in a place protected from the sun. Vitalot, Peruvian violet, Blue Danube varieties are kept quite well, 4 to 6 months. The rest is stored for no more than 3 months. Other varieties with purple color are Blue Danube. This mid-early English variety is resistant to disease, mechanical damage, and drought. It has a thick purple skin. The yield of the Blue Danube potato is approximately 350 kilograms per hectare. The flesh is white. Used in soups, salads, and frying. Gypsy, medium early variety, poorly tolerates drought, resistant to cancer, gray rot, scab. The flesh is yellowish and tender. The tubers have a thin skin, so it is recommended to dug them out by hand. Productivity 250 kilograms per hectare, 1 bush gives 6 to 14 potatoes. All blue, the tubers have an interesting color, the skin and the center of the flesh are dark purple, and the outer layer is light blue. If you cut a potato, a light ring is clearly visible on the piece. During heat treatment, the color of the pulp is preserved. Oval tubers are large, some weigh up to 200 grams. The plant is stored for a short time, about 3 months, sprouts quickly. Lilac is a Russian seasonal variety. The tubers are medium in size. The flesh of the potato is lilac with a slight hint of almonds. Good for salads. Miracle Violet potato, a medium-late variety, was created at the Ural Research Institute of Agriculture. The skin and flesh are purple amethyst. The taste is softer than that of regular potatoes. Highly rich in vitamin C, resistant to fungal diseases and adverse climatic conditions. The yields are low, 100 to 180 kilograms per hectare. Adirondack Blue. Medium late. The yield reaches 400 kilograms from 100 square meters of land. Susceptible to scab and blight. Harvest keeps badly. It starts to germinate and become soft already in the middle of winter. The flesh is ink-colored, unsuitable for cooking, more suitable for frying. Miami. Late blight resistant, late variety, suitable for cultivation in Moscow, Siberia, and the Urals. Productivity, 350 to 400 kilograms per hectare. They are large, up to 110 grams, and are blue-purple in color. Miami potatoes have a sweetish taste, and the vegetable lends itself to puree. Vitalot, French truffle, is the one discussed here. This is a late variety. It has small tubers, no more than 10 centimeters in length. 6 to 8 vegetables weighing 60 to 75 grams are formed under the bush, less often, up to 100 grams. They give a relatively low yield. Truffle potatoes have a pleasant nutty flavor and good storage quality due to the thick skin. It is considered a gourmet variety. The dark purple flesh contains a lot of anthocyanins, starch. Suitable for purees. Violet Peruvian. This is one of the most disease-resistant potato varieties. Moderately fertile and quite late variety. The weight of a potato is about 80 grams. About 180 kilograms of potatoes are harvested from 100 square meters of soil. The flesh has a pronounced nutty flavor, so it is often added to salads. Both inside and out, the vegetable is purple. The Violet Viking has a glowing purple skin with pink-red spots and snow-white flesh that becomes sweeter when stored. Purple Majesty, with a maturation of approximately 70 days, is the most purple potato of its kind. Purple potatoes are rich in anthocyanins, carotenoids, phenolic acid, minerals, and vitamins. All of this delays the aging process of the body and lowers blood pressure. Purple potatoes contain anthocyanins, calcium and potassium, phenolic acids, vitamins B1, B2, B5, B6, A, C, E, carotenoids. The tubers contain 12 to 13% starch, which is significantly less than their white and yellow counterparts.